Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We're playing in the Harbinger League, full of Oriath, as a solo self-found Dark Pact Necromancer. We find ourselves in the lovely Imperial fields on our way to the Solaris temple. And in between episodes I picked up a couple of prophecies, one of which is going to be to slay the Bomef occultist. So that is what we are gonna do. Flesh monsters. Let's take a small step aside here. So still using the skeleton totem and the concentrated effect on our Dark Pact. So far so good.
Cowardly foes lay in wait. A show of force.
Okay, training currency. Hallelujah.
A fearsome foe's inner torment spills out into the world.
Okay, ow. There we go. So, little rain of currency. It's always a good thing. Let's pick it all up and then go back here. Pick up all the currencies. And a skeletal shrine as well. The Bomef cultists are still going to be around here somewhere. The luck we will find them on our way. That does not quite look like the way forward. From what I remember of this place from the beta, there is a unique somewhere on the fields, but I don't think it was specifically along the way. You had to go out of your way a little bit. Just teleporting around a little bit so the bulls won't start charging me, since bulls can do quite some damage. We are relatively tanky, but still it's I do try to build some good habits from time to time. Might not be very consistent at it, but it's better to try and not always be consistent than to not try at all. There we are, Effigy of Fear. Was he doing some kind of Super Saiyan power-up type move thing? That counts for the achievements. Ooh, another 6 sockets. So it's been raining 6 socketed items. Lovely little serpentine stuff. Instead of going with a wand and a shield, you could go with a lovely little staff as well. You'll have less defensive options or less defensive bonuses. But of course you do get a 6 link in return, which you can potentially do some interesting things with. On the other hand, it's also 2 items that you potentially have to 6 link if you want to fully benefit from them. And 6 linking an item is relatively expensive. Let's see, monsters do increase damage. We can deal with that. So every Vaal area I encounter, I want to clear, because we might encounter some new Vaal bosses. Though this definitely reminds me quite a bit of the cellar that we used to find in the warehouse, that often had the Rima, the Deep Temptress. And we get a Rima here as well. Lovely. In the end though, she falls, as always. Ooh, Divine Life. That is lovely. Vaal, Fireball. Okay, so with most of the interesting features out of the way, let's see if we can find ourselves something that resembles an exit. And I hope the Bamef cultists will be along the way there. Because, well, leaving the opportunity of encountering demons behind is, of course, not something I really relish. There we go. And that already fills us up. So let's empty pockets and then move forward. Which reminds me, I think I still had some things from last episode in here. Okay. Let's continue. Ooh, some carrion swarmers. That's a pretty rapid fire ballista there. I don't think the ballistas I got on my ranger were that rapid fire. An interesting support gem though. Burst fire. That's for any projectile skill. So we got the lesser and greater multiple projectiles support gems that just give you more projectiles. We have faster attacks. We have piercing attacks, but what we don't have is a burst. It's a bit like a multi-strike. But then for ranged, ooh, Harbinger chicken. So this is the new and improved Harbinger. And especially the Flame Dash version. They do fly, dash all over the place and they target your minions as well as yourself. So if you have a lot of minions, chances are you will not get targeted all that much by the Flame Dashes because your minions will be in the crosshairs most of the time. Hinders nearby enemies. I still think that's a very nice look for a totem. So, Regal shards, 3 of them. Horizon shard and 2 engineer shards. The Horizon shard, I have already completed 1 Horizon orb. So that's the one that rerolls a map in the same tier. Ooh, a silver flask. Okay, getting bogged down here. What's causing that? Just generic zombies or...
A dark...
Ah, that was the Bamef stuff. So all we got was the followers, not the actual Bamef. Pity. Now, of course, it was only part 1 of the prophecy. It's not until part 2 or 3 where things get more interesting. Good thing is though, it does cross it off of the list. So now I can move on. And not feel too bad about it. And almost as if it's on cue, Solaris Temple presents itself. At least the path towards Solaris Temple. It's all neatly tiled and there's tapestries. Lots and lots of tapestries. And here's Solaris Temple proper. So on level 1 of the temple we will find ourselves a waypoint that... Oh, another Harbinger. Flame Dash. Okay, so that's a 4th Harbinger I've seen so far since the 301 patch. And they've all been Flame Dash. Which is interesting because I thought there would be more skills. Or, oh no wait, they do use more skills, so it could be that a Flame Dash is very noticeable. Okay, so Horizon Shard, Chaos Shard, and then Transportation shards, they do drop in larger stacks. But this is a blue one. Not really all that keen on blue items, to be honest. Control gloves, might as well. Ooh, strongbox. Cast random curse when activated. Sure. We can remove curses, but don't really care that much. Totem is great for things like this, since the totem will just keep casting new skeletons at wherever enemies pop up. So all you have to do is just chain cast Dark Pact, and it will auto target wherever the enemies are. If you just keep your totem with you, you can definitely just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Ah yes, Infernal Sentinel. I think I want one of these as a pet. There you go. And there is the waypoint. So that means to the side over there we will have the exit to the battlefront. We're not really going to be able to do anything there, so might as well just ignore it and move on. And there is a Forici.
A moment of your time.
I've been waiting for you, buddy. He's only at level 1, and because he's level 1 I can't invite him to my hideout, so I can't do daily missions for him. So this mission will actually get him to 2 or maybe even to 3. So I can actually get into the hideout and do some dailies. Oh, keep the target alive. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. Oh, come on. That actually worked. Wow, I had expected the minions to just murder him, but enemies do get life regeneration for this specific mission, or for most of these assassin missions, which helps to keep them alive. And voila, he's at 2, 1 more XP away from level 3, so I can get him to the hideout. That is very lovely. I mean, Forici, you kind of need him to just help you color your sockets and things like that. So yeah, not getting access to that means you're a little bit handicapped in terms of socketing and other things like that. Let's see, is there anything useful here? Ooh, +1 to minions. Downside is, of course, there are no resists on here. This one is a dual res. That's 66 points of resistance. That is pretty neat. It's slightly less than what we've got, but it is an improvement in terms of ES. Let's actually hold on to that and just have a bit of a look at it later. Dual res, high amount of life. That's also possibly a contender. So keep those things, put the other things away. And then that's going to be enough. So put all of that in the pocket. And yeah, Orb of Horizons reforges a map as another of the same tier. And I believe the Orbs of Horizons... No, it's the Harbingers that one has a chance of upgrading into a Harbinger map. The beachhead, I believe. This one is just going to do what it is supposed to. I'm very excited for maps. Technically, if I wanted to, I could already start running maps. I did find one map from a random enemy because I'm over level 60. I'm level 63. I've done maps at 63 before in the beta. It's interesting, it's challenging, but it's doable. So we got a prophecy for crushing tempests. So I got to get more item rarity and quantity over here. But yeah, waiting to finish the story before diving into maps feels better. And another Varici. Lovely.
A moment of your time.
Keep the target on low life for 8 seconds. Okay. That's gonna be towards that area. Oh, there we have Mina and Mina. Ooh, another summoner. This is gonna be lovely. Put you over here. This is gonna be a problem. I don't think she's gonna live. Huh, wow. I keep getting pleasantly surprised by the sturdiness of the exiles in this case. And he's now level 3. Lovely. Someone is going to make an appearance in my hideout. Probably just placing Vegan as my crash test dummy. For this build, Vegan is a very easy opponent. One-on-one, it's just 1 or 2 shotting. He really doesn't stand a chance. And the daily mission where you have to kill more dummies than him, because you're doing such a large amount of AoE damage, he can't land a single blow on the dummies. It's kind of sad, really. Does make it really quickly to complete. Hey, and there's another sentinel. I think I mentioned I wanted one. Come on, be highlighted. Infernal Sentinel. Yeah, we got 2 now. Oh, I just leveled Desecrate, but I'm not entirely sure if that was the wise thing to do. It was not the wise thing to do. It's no longer on autocast. Dang it. Okay, so put it up there. It was an autocast, of course, as part of the cast when damage taken setup. So I'll just have to sprinkle them around every once in a while. Not a bad thing either. Ooh. Gems with quality, those are always nice drops. It's a nice artillery barrage that those sentinels deliver. And so far, most of the minions have been rather sturdy, or most of the specters have been rather sturdy. Okay, and more Harbinger stuff. Let's just get some corpses out. So when things go wrong, at least we have a fully charged bone offering ready to go. Okay, I don't want to be in the middle of that. We have minions for that after all. Okay, there was something about it that made it a bit more sturdy than usual. Though with all the effects and things going on. Did not really notice what exactly. That's one of the downsides of a build like this. Because it's rather hands-off. Then it is easy to just lose sight of exactly what's happening. Also, someone murdered a zombie. Okay, cool. And we're back. Weeping Essence of Rage. That should be rather quickly, and indeed it is. Lovely. Let's move on. So we will no longer be greeted by Lady Diala here in level 2 of the Solaris Temple. Instead, there's a new player in town. A rogue exile that went a little mad. Delusions of grandeur and all that. And now goes by the name of the Dawn, if I remember correctly. And the Lunaris version is gonna be the Dusk. So you got a sun, moon, dusk, dawn theme. So, let's do this. It's Dawn, Harbinger of Solaris. There's a bit of a laser beam thing going on. I got a suspicion though that as long as we can get our skeletons near, will be good. Oh yeah, and there's the orb. That of course has a bunch of power by itself, but yeah, it doesn't really matter how strong the sun orb is. We are stronger. That was the dawn. Let's see.
Mate.
Don't think anyone specifically sent us for just the one Tmaramaba who talked about everything, but nobody really cared about it, just the one orb. They want them both. So for let's actually go over to the next area, to the battlements. So next episode we're gonna leave the toxic conduits to the left side to do the bathhouse arc and end up in Lunaris temple. But for now, what we can do is just exit here and just have a bit of a look around. So last time I did end up, after completing Lunaris temple, I ended up walking back towards through all of the areas, and it's a little odd. I understand why they connected the center area there from both sides, just to have some symmetry, so you have a little bit of freedom whether you go Solaris or Lunaris first. But it does end with at least one area being effectively useless. Solaris Concourse. Wait. Ah, yeah, that's a linking bit. Must admit, I do like the artillery support that those things provide. Someone is shooting large fiery orbs at me. It's like a fire version of the ball lightning. So originally this was the battlements, no, the battlefront. It was a more dark, more nighttime place. Now it is dark. Of course, it is Solaris' domain, so of course it is dark. Oh, of course it is light, not dark. Fire tornadoes. Okay, Regulus, Sun's Herald. And he is part of the list of things to kill. And there's a bunch of solar elementals that are just going in an absolute frenzy, not able to find out how to get here. So let's help them a little bit. Let's bring our army to them. It's level 58 area. I am level 63 by now. So I'm a little overpowered. I'm a little overleveled. Still well within the margins of getting full XP for the areas. And especially, you know, areas like these, they're building up one level at a time, but now we're actually down a level. And then, so Solaris Temple was 59, so that was only 4 levels, now it's 5 levels, but then we're gonna go back on the Lunaris side and repeat the same leveling curve again. So it is guaranteed that you're gonna get out leveled, or going to out level the content a little bit, unless you are really aggressively pushing through and basically just not interacting with most of the content. But no, if you're like me, you know, doing it a little bit more casually, just enjoying the scenery, just trying to have a good look at the areas, trying to find the unique boss in every area, and oh, just enjoying what has been placed here. You know, going back for some farming and things like that. Then getting overleveled is gonna happen. There's just no way around it. Ancient graffiti. I don't think I've ever actually read it. So let's use the opportunity.
The shadow whispers and simpers at the Monkey King's feet. When the Monkey King puts his back to the sun, it is the shadow that leads the way.
Okay. Monkey Kings and shadows. Can we teleport up there? Yes, we can. So, before in Act 3, we of course had the bridge here as well. And it was blocked by some kind of magical thing. Here we can advance until the Harbor Bridge, which is the connecting piece here. It's level 60 area, it contains the entrance to the boss fight. But we cannot access it yet because we are, of course, only in the possession of a single one of the orbs. And we also need the moon orb. Oh. We all completely forgot about them. They just feel abandoned and alone. And oh look, Harbinger. And more Harbinger ilk. There we are. Let's just go down there, teleport our minions, and then just spend some time. It's more, I guess it's more effective to just shoot from upstairs, since you can't get hit. But it's more safe, let's put it that way. But diving into the action is a bit more satisfaction to it. Ancient shards, alchemy shards. Oh, we're slowly getting better shards. It's part of the 301 improvements. Also part of just simply leveling up, I suppose. And let's grab the Shaper. A little bit more life and mana regen is going to be useful. Especially the mana regen, because we are burning through quite some of it. Cartographer's Delight, 3 of them, gets us a tier 5 map. That is pretty darn nice. In a level 60 area that is going to be supremely farmable. Especially if you consider that a tier 5 map is, what is it, like 72? Yeah, I think it's level 72. So by the time you are up for that, this is going to be very farmable. All we need is 1 or 2 skeletons down there, and then everything else is gonna evaporate. Constant damage taken, it levels up, and once again Desecrate will auto-cast itself. So that is good. What's the threshold now? 1350. We're at 1800 energy shield, so that is plenty. Okay. Looks like there's something. It's like corrupted or something around there. Nah, it's the aura. Okay. And lots of lions down there. And once again, Totem puts down skeletons. And all we need is 1 or 2. And then enemy groups evaporate. Okay. Slowly advancing further. You already see some blue ribbons here instead of only the red ones. And yeah, the mix is getting more and more, and we are there in the middle. blue and red mix, and as you can see, blue and red ribbons don't like each other very much. And here we are in a twilight at the Sky Shrine. I think we can go in. I think we just can't do much with it. Yeah, see, you can't even just drop off one of the orbs. You do need to drop off both. So that is nice. No, last time I only went here when I had both of the orbs. So this time we just get a bit of a look at it. And yeah, we've made it to the place where the final fight of this act is gonna happen. But as I said, next time we're gonna start again from the Toxic Conduit and head west and go to the bathhouse, find the moon orb, find the wings of Vastiri, and do whatever else we will get in terms of side quests. And of course, we're gonna go after the Dusk Rogue Exile, or not even Rogue. I'm not quite sure if it's a Rogue Exile or just simply a Exile. But we're gonna kill Dusk in the Lunaris Temple. But that's gonna be for next time. So for now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.